Hi everyone, Jonathan here as usual. I've been debating whether or not to film this video because, basically it's not about photography. Actually, it's about alternatives to photography. So things we can do, like in general, that are not directly related to photography. And I think that it's interesting because the image that I project here on my YouTube channel is, of course, related to photography and videography and visual arts and all this kind of stuff. But of course, I'm not only this, like in my life, Over the past year, I've been questioning the role that photography plays in my life, in general. And I realized that it's not enough. It cannot be the only thing, let's say. Because I've gone through a really rough patch in my personal life for various reasons. You can find something in my recent videos here and there, and throughout all this time that is luckily passing, more or less, I feel a bit better in general. Yeah, photography was always there. I was still working on my projects. I was making videos for YouTube. I was posting on Instagram, TikTok, all this kind of stuff. But photography was not there in the way I wanted it to be. Yeah. The point is that when we do something with passion and we have some kind of ambition related to that, for example, talking about this YouTube project or my photography project in general, the type of photography that I do, all this kind of stuff, you tend or you should follow a certain structure. So for example, in my case, I know that when I want to go out to take pictures, I know what I'm going to do. I know how I will process these images. I know how I will post these contents online. So I'm following a sort of structure. This is to say that the fun and creative part is of course still there, but it's a bit more standardized as time goes on because because if you want to follow a structure, you have to follow a structure. So because of that, it requires a certain effort that if you are going through, as I was saying before, if you're going through a rough patch or if you are going through tough times in general in your life, it doesn't help you get more relaxed or detach a bit, from your problems because it's an effort, because you have to be there, you have to be focused. What made the difference for me was a sort of return to my roots. So, for example, during the last months, I started making music again with a friend here in Lisbon, and it's something I haven't done for 10 years, more or less, because when I was in high school, I used to sing in a metalcore band, so it was that kind of extreme metal stuff, was singing, screaming, growling, all this kind of stuff, writing, of course, my songs. And it was something that I really, really liked in that period of my life. I also had, at that point, I also had some kind of ambition towards that. Yeah, I wanted my music, my band's music to be listened, of course, and I wanted to, play live and all this kind of stuff. So in that moment, it was that kind of stuff. Then the band split. We had some internal issues. It was a moment in which that kind of music genre was starting to fade out a bit. Not a lot of people were interested in it anymore. So I basically stopped making music. I did something on my own, but little things, and then I just stopped, especially when I moved here to Lisbon, because I didn't carry my equipment, the stuff that I used to record when I was at home. So it's was like this. So a sort of return to my roots, because now I'm making music without any type of ambition, any type of in general, I'm trying to just have fun, be creative, and it's one of those situations in which if something comes out well, it's nice, it's a nice surprise. If it doesn't, you are still having fun with a friend, you are still doing something creative, and you are still, relaxing, you are still doing something that is not related to your personal, issues or worries or everything, So it's that kind of stuff. It's fun, and it's a feeling that I missed. I miss, for example, sometimes the university days when we were studying, me and my friends, visual arts. So we were talking about cinema, about visual arts, like in general, theater, music, like from the morning to the evening, every day. We were also experimenting, doing our little side projects, all this kind of stuff. So it's yeah, it's that kind of sensation, you know. It's yeah, when something is new, when something is vibrant, you know, and when you're actually living something for what it is, without a particular, yeah, as I was saying before, without ambitions, without thinking of a structure, a future, all this kind of stuff, you know. Another old passion that I revisited is cars. Like I always liked cars, like in general. Never followed motorsport a lot, but I always liked cars, the concept of cars. I also liked driving when I was in Italy, when I was living in Italy. I had a car at that point. Now I don't have a car because I don't see the point in having a car here with the public transport and being close to the city and all this kind of stuff. But still, it's something that I always liked. And last year, for example, I started photographing some events, like some yeah, some shows, or I also went to see a race. Yeah, it was a Porsche Cup Brazil race. Here in Lisbon, in the Estoril circuit. It was nice. It was a nice experience because I was also mixing this kind of experience with photography, so it was nice in general. But this year I started like a couple months ago, something like that, to do karting. I went once. I would like to go back with my brother. And I regularly go sim racing, always with my brother, to a place here in Lisbon where they have these, these sim racing things. And it's nice. It's something that I always, I always liked the idea of it, but I always knew that it was something expensive, that it was hard. Yeah, it was difficult to have it at home because you need space. Like for example, now I wouldn't have the space to have a sort of rig like that to do proper sim racing here at home. But I'm thinking of getting one maybe in the future, maybe when I will move to a bigger house. I don't know if it will ever happen, but still, I will try to make it happen. And it's something that I'm liking. As I was saying before, no expectations, no ambitions, no nothing. It's just fun to learn a track, to see your times, see that you're going faster, see that you're learning something new. And it's also something that I'm doing with someone that is important to me, my brother in this case. So it's all excuses in the excuses in the positive way to get you out of your place, to not just focus on projects, on work, on all this kind of stuff, and do something different. So I think that the point of this video, even if I took a longer route to explain all of this, is that in my opinion, photography is photography for a lot of people is just a hobby, a passion, and it's a passion for me as well. But when you do something for a lot of years, you have a project, you try to post regularly, you try to make your work visible to the larger amount of people possible. It's it becomes another thing. There's always the fun and creative side, but it's there's a structure, there's a sort of involvement that is needed. So yeah, it's a different thing. That's why I'm saying that photography is not enough, like in our lives in general. If you take it only as an hobby, you don't even post online, you don't care, you just like to take pictures, it's one thing. But if you start to treat it like a job, it becomes a job in the end. So for a lot of time, also in the last years, my life was made of job one, that is, my job in the office. Before I was a quality analyst, now I'm an executive assistant in a big company. And job two, that was photography, videography, all this kind of stuff. And I didn't have other things because I thought that job two was also a hobby, a passion, this kind of stuff. But I discovered that it's not, it can be like this, so you need other things that are not an actual project. And in this case, in my personal case, these are the two things that I'm liking. So sim racing and racing, like in general, I'm doing go-kart, this kind of stuff. and making music. I don't know, maybe for you it's another thing. Sure, there are a lot of hobbies available in the world in general, but it's nice, as I said before, to find an excuse to get you out of your place, and not the comfort zone. It's not about the comfort zone. It's like physically out of your place, out of the office, out of your own place, the apartment where you live, the house, and this kind of stuff. And it's nice to also to do these things with other people. It's something that we're missing. I don't know if you guys heard about the lack of third places, third spaces. Yeah, this kind of stuff. I mean, it's a modern world, and we are missing this kind of connections, this kind of experiences. So yeah, in general, I think that it's positive to think about this for our own mental health and for our own quality of life in general. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, that you find it that you found it relatable or interesting at least. Let me know in the comments if you have other hobbies, like maybe strange things that I haven't heard about that I can try, and yeah, things that you do, yeah, with passion, without expectations, without ambition, just to chill out, just to, relax a bit. And see you in the next video. Bye.